Good morning, everyone, everywhere around the world. It's a cold day here in Colorado. We haven't quite received the arrival of spring fully, but nonetheless, it's a great time of year, and I want to welcome all of you to our weekly show here on Regenerative Media TV. This is Solutionaries, where we like to speak with various individuals and organizations that are doing incredible work as far as bringing solutions to their communities, again, all around the world. And today I have the honor, we're in different time zones, but I have the honor of speaking today with John Ssentamu. John is with the Rotary Club in Kinoni, Rotary Club Kinoni, and they're based in Retamasaka, if I said that right, Uganda, and they're doing some incredible work. So welcome, John, to the show.
It's my pleasure to join you. Thank you so much, Michael, for hosting me on this show.
Well, it's a pleasure. So we met recently, and what I was really impressed with, because here at Regeneration Global, where we're committed to showcasing several projects annually that are doing great work as far as regenerative solutions. That can be anything from food security to water cleaning and remediation to education, working with youth and women, enhancing the ecosystem. And again, every unique project takes on its unique solution. So before we start about what you're doing, just tell us for a moment a little bit about yourself and how you got interested in this work that you're doing.
I'm John Ssentamu. I'm a teacher by profession. I have been teaching since 1998. I'm a director of Good Shepherd Primary School. I'm director of Suri Empowered Community Planning Center. I'm also a president of the Rotary Club of Noni Information, based in Ruengo district in Greater Masaka. I'm also a rural advocate. I'm a rural voice. Make sure communities people in the rural communities have their voices heard and action taken, bring them to better living. Essentially, my whole life has been spent in a rural community, and I feel very comfortable living in a rural community and being a witness to see life changing, communities shifting. So it gives me joy to see things
Great.
happening.
So we know, of course, in many rural places around the world, as we do this interview, that the Wi-Fi might not always be consistent. I know many people here in the West and in Europe enjoy the luxury of consistent Wi-Fi, but we do want to acknowledge that where you are, there's a lot of beauty in being rural, but there's also a lot of challenges in the work that you're doing. And I want to congratulate you on taking such a important role of leadership in your community to do something positive to benefit the people there. So can you tell us for a moment, again, where you are and what's kind of the ecosystem? Is it a desert? Is it jungle? Is it forest? Tell us a little bit. Do you have infrastructure there with water, and how do you get your food? Just so we can understand a little bit about your daily life.
Generally, where we are living in a community where we have a number of homesteads. where people go do the gardening to get food. People own pieces of land on which they grow food using hand. There are some areas that are swamp areas, wetlands as well, and some areas that are forests, but these are artificial forests mostly that are planted by people, particularly eucalyptus forests are very common in our community here because people earn a living from those trees by selling them. Generally, that's how our rural community is. It's all about having pieces of land by different families of food. That's how we get food. We go into the garden and grow our own food, which some food is sold by other things. So,
And lastly, what's your infrastructure? Do you have wells? Do you have a water supply infrastructure? And also about electricity, energy. How do you get power? Do you have power? And I also know I did a little homework, and many parts of Uganda are incredibly diverse, biologically diverse with wildlife and different types of animals and environments there. But again, what's your water and electric infrastructure like?
honestly speaking, water is a challenge because we live by boreholes, which are dug in different communities because we don't have a permanent water source that can provide the water on a full-time basis. And sometimes when it comes to hot season, even the boreholes get dry. And then people have to go long distances to fetch water from swamps that are a distance away from here. With electricity, at least we have hydroelectricity, but much as it is there, very few homes can afford having hydroelectricity in their homes. So you find most of the homes don't have electricity. They just use the ordinary light, the torches in their homes.
Right. So, yeah, I wanted to do that because for many people, it's important to understand. I know many of us, like in the United States, I live in the Rockies. It's very rural area. Um, our town has maybe 150 people in the town, and we're surrounded by everything from high mountains to desert. And we do have solar farms that provide our community with electricity. So it's always interesting to hear, where people are and what their day-to-day life is like. So with the Rotary Club, share with us a little bit about the projects and leadership that you're taking in your community and some of the solutions and initiatives you're working on.
First of all, we need to let people know that any solution we think of, we must be part of it. We need the local people to know that any other person can come to help, but we must be ready to complement the help. And the help must begin with us. We must help ourselves first by accepting our weaknesses as a community and knowing what we must do, knowing what we have been doing wrong, and do it right. For example, there are things that are being done in our community, not because people are willing to do them, but because circumstances dictate that way. For example, cutting down trees. When people cut down trees to burn, to get charcoal, they are doing it not because they want to cut down the trees, but because they are looking for a living. When they burn the trees, they get the charcoal, they sell and pay school fees. So we are coming in with the education about the importance of trees. Then we are planning as a Rotary Club to set up a nursery bed, a tree nursery bed of a Rotary Club, where we will be constantly providing trees to the community people, so that when a tree is cut, a tree is planted. And we need to make, we are planning to make a follow-up to see that wherever is cut, replace what has been cut. Secondly, there is a lot of retailing plastic in our communities. So we want also to let it to equip the students who go to school with the knowledge about collecting the plastic, how best they can be recycled, and save the environment we are living in. Second, with water again, we are good at wasting water. We find that much as water is scarce, but the way we are using water sometimes becomes wasteful. So as a Rotary Club, we do believe in extending water, because as we get more partners, we'll provide boreholes to those communities without boreholes. Then we will also provide tanks, community tanks, that can help harvest water, and also bring to reality the existence of poor hygiene in a community where people are living in a very poor hygiene. People find people don't even have latrines. Those who have the latrines, they don't know how to properly use the latrines. So all that kind of stuff is what we are thinking of. One, making sure that trees are planted constantly, then running the zero waste school program, and then bringing closed water into the local community, and also providing. So, because we know these homes do have students, kids who go to school, they need, and even home, it becomes insecure when a home is without enough light. Being people who live in villages, we expect wild animals like snakes. Snakes can enter a house, but imagine a snake is in a house, which house does not have a single light to switch on, because they are lying on candles, which candles are blown off when they go to sleep. So we do believe that this solar system, once it is extended into the communities, it will empower, because it will even create some businesses, small scale businesses, to some households, to improve on their incomes, at the same time to improve on their health. So briefly, those are some of the programs we are looking at doing. Like as I've said, with the water, providing water tanks to some schools in our communities, because children walk longer distances to fetch water for school use. So if a school can be provided with a water tank, at least it will save these children from longer distance.
Well, I want to I want to again commend you, because as we know at this time, all around the world, there's so many people and communities that are having challenges as far as just even being able to sustain a healthy day-to-day lifestyle, but also the ability to get the essentials, like you said, clean water, the ability to have healthy food, and also, um, again, I want to mention, here in the West, people take so many of these things for granted. I've had the opportunity to live in places like the Amazons or the desert of North Africa, and I've had the privilege to actually see through different eyes about how people live. And here in the West, sadly, many people take for granted these types of conveniences. Like, we did a lot of work around water shed preservation and to help remediate, to clean the water, because many people go, they just turn a knob, the water comes out, they turn it off. They don't think about, how does that water get there? Is the water clean? What am I doing in my own home or my own yard or community that's damaging the water? And of course, you mentioned a very big problem all around the world is the introduction of these plastics into the environment, which have really destructive effects, not just from the plastics, but when the plastics break down, they create the microplastic, which is not even really visible, that gets into, again, our water, into our food, into our bodies, into our children. So this is really a big issue. But I want to say, in light of all the projects that are needing support and people need to be aware about that we can support, we were really impressed with the level of work that you're doing, the documents that you have, and that you're focused on these essential issues like food and water and youth and education, especially with educating youth, because then if they know, they can make different options in the future. So, what currently stage are you in there? Because again, this is not just an idea, this is something you're doing. Um, where are you in the stage of the process, and what are your some of your most immediate needs and support?
Um, First of all, as far as these programs are concerned, we have already identified the partner communities, the partner schools, the partner homes, families we are going to be working with. Right now, I think at this stage, we just need people who can come over here as volunteers. For example, in a zero waste management program to do the training with us. We also need volunteers in ecotourism, those who can come over here, train people in ecotourism, how best we can turn our communities into ecotourism centers. We also think that we need people who have expertise in water-related programs, so that we can educate our communities, our people, on how best to use water. For example, we have a challenge here when boreholes are dug. They are dug using, and the pipes put inside are pipes that are either plastic or these ones that are rusty. Yet they are very dangerous. So not so many people know how dangerous those pipes that are rust are to our lives. Instead of using stainless steel, they use the ones that are rusting, which is very risky. And it is the commonest, they are the commonest pipes we are using in our boreholes here in Uganda. So when we get expertise from experts, from people who are willing to volunteer their expertise, they are everything they can provide to us and come and work with the Rotary Club of Kinoni. We do believe that we can cause the change we feel we need in our communities. So many times we lack expertise, and that expertise can only come from people who are willing to volunteer it. So we also need partnership with like-minded organizations, individuals, institutions, who are like, so that at the end of the day, we bring about the change, because we have already acquired the land, and the schools have given us permission to work with them with different programs we are running. And we do believe that we are positioned at a stage where where things ready to the experts to give us the expertise we need, and the other resources that are needed to make things happen.
Well, I do want to share for people watching the video, and we spoke about this. I want to commend you for having your organization very much together. You have the proper documents. You are very legitimate in the projects and the success that you are doing. So this call today is an opportunity to explore our umbrella organization, which is a collaboration of many organizations, including my foundation, Earthstock Global. We also work with Green to Gold with Professor Alan Tratner, who works with various types of technologies and nonprofits, things that help to clean up the water, clean up the soil. We also have others who work with regenerative agriculture. So We're very happy today to have this conversation. And as I said to you, I want to be clear, we need to start a campaign. We are not a direct funding organization right now, but we definitely have consultants and contractors and technologies. And we also have the ability to be able to create various campaigns that can assist in getting solutions incubated. And this is just a little bit of information, but we're not going to get into everything about our organization because today our focus is to help you achieve your goals. I think what's amazing too is just for people who are joining us, recently we had other communications with two other communities in Uganda. One of them is Arsene, who has already been working with one of our consultants, Catherine Schmack from Germany, and they're doing a big project around a school and reforestation. But they were also talking about needing to get the plants to do the reforestation. And then I had been in touch with Robert, also in Uganda, who's doing several projects, growing plants and doing things also around food security and water. So after a conversation, because Catherine has already had success fundraising for Arsene and the project there, that we thought, without taking away from any one organization, that if we start a campaign and help all of you in Uganda weave together different elements, and also it is much more appealing if someone can make a larger investment to help do a large project that would have very positive results. So it is kind of amazing how we've all been connected, and all of you are in Uganda, and now we're looking at deploying the campaign for Regeneration Global in Uganda. So very exciting times. And we also know there's a time element. And we're also working with people who have the ability to deploy other technologies like Starlink, so that there can be better Wi-Fi communications. But as we know, all of these things take some time, they take effort, they take funds. And as you said, it actually begins with people in your community taking the responsibility and leadership, like you have, John, to bring the solutions, to be a solutionary and help make the changes that are needed. So really, I'm really inspired by your work. It's really a great honor to have this time with you today. So can you tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here?
The first one, the one on top up there, is where the Rotarians, we had bought T-shirts to join the country on Kabaka's run. Kabaka is a king in our region. Here we have a kingdom in our region, the central region. So we had bought T-shirts to support the campaign against HIV/AIDS and create the awareness. So we are on that day receiving those T-shirts, getting ready for the Kabaka's run. Then down here, we had hosted friends from Australia who had come that are supporting one of the centers we are supporting also. So we are enjoying that moment down there with them. We had that photo opportunity with them. Then down here again, we had gone out with the guests at one of the guest the hotel here, and we are having some social time together. Then down here, we are holding the donation we had given to the center. This is a skilling center where girls come and get skills in tailoring, hairdressing, computer, and any other stuff, that music, dance, and drama. So we had come to donate some things to them. Then down here again, we are attending one of the meetings of the Rotary clubs, the weekly meetings we have here every week. Again here, we are donating some funds to the center, and the center has a savings scheme for students from which they borrow some money and buy supplies for their training when they don't have enough. Again, that was our weekly meeting. Again, that was a photo opportunity with our friends, the friends of the center that had come to visit us.
It's so green and lush there. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And here we're looking at some of your documents about your work with the Rotary Club.
Yes. So that is the Rotary Club, and that's the mission, vision statement, and the values of our club. Rotary Club is an internationally recognized organization, a charitable organization for people who are studying above their souls. Then down here is the document, the proposal we are having about the Zero Waste Schools program, which we hope to undertake as soon as we get the funds ready and the experts with us to get the project going. In the document, we are having also, yeah, it's listing the activities we have done so far. And we're also having the activities we have done so far as the club. And also it's saying the current leadership. We have the president, who is John Ssentamu, the one speaking right now. The secretary is Sharon Morin, who is right now in Italy. We have the treasurer, Twasembatia, we have club administrator, Marian Mugerwa, we have public relations officer, Iva Sindiebwa, project director, Dr. Dennis Sechans, who is based in, now in Syria Leone right now. Then we have Sergeant at Arms Ibrahim, we have assistant club administrator, Zul Fanaka, assistant club secretary, as Edith Kamasanyu, then assistant project director, Happy Panam Service. We have partnership so far with these broadcasting houses, the CBS Radio, Radio Voodoo, Top TV, Daily Monitor, and others. We do believe that one step at a time. We don't believe that these things can happen once altogether, but we are convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that we are making one step at a time, one step at a time, and we let the divine intervention work its way. We are not going to make the nature hurry to do things, but we are giving nature time to take its course, because we very well know that things can easily be planned, but the implementation takes its time. So we believe that it's a gradual process to identify partners, to identify like-minded people, but we know it's a possible mission, and we are more than ready to welcome whoever is ready to come on board and help. The Rotary clubs around the world, the inner wheel clubs around the world, and any other charitable organization that can give a helping hand is warmly welcome. Institutions that can provide volunteers to come and work with the Rotary Club, as far as these projects are concerned, are mostly welcome.
Well, it's really amazing. I like how you said divine intervention, because that's exactly what's happening right now. I know for many of us around the world, we're doing two campaigns different than Regeneration Global. We're doing two campaigns called Build Back Green, which is a direct relief program for people suffering from the effects of the climate changes and natural disasters right now. So currently we're doing a project in Maui, and paradoxically enough, with one of our principal founders and collaborators, Green to Gold and Professor Tratner, they were doing a sustainability education center there. And of course, you might have heard they had the big fire and huge devastation, hundreds, thousands of homes and damage to infrastructure. And we're also doing a project in Acapulco for our brothers and sisters in Mexico, where they were devastated by the hurricane. But like you said, and I'm glad, this is why we want to work with you, that you understand more than just giving you a quick Band-Aid to fix something. These are long-term solutions around infrastructure, around education and mindset, working with the youth. A big part of the work we do, because we work with indigenous communities, is that we have to look at everything we do will affect 7 generations of people. And that could be positive change like you're doing, or it could be just throwing plastic or trash into the environment, cutting the trees, and even the impact on wildlife. I will say I did a little research. I don't want to get off subject, but seeing those photos and how green it was, you have extremely diverse wildlife and ecosystem there. Can you tell us a little bit? Um, I know obviously it's a large country, but tell us a little bit about the wildlife, because also in regenerating the environment, regenerating communities, regenerating water and food, a big part of what we like to consider is our impact on the natural world, the environment, and wildlife, which, of course, in your part of the world is amazingly diverse and sometimes potentially threatened by what we do as human beings. So can you share a little bit about that?
Um, as far as wildlife is concerned here, apart from those areas that are well fully gazetted for wildlife, there are other areas, habitat for wildlife. But still, as you have said, currently this wildlife is being threatened because so many activities are starting to be done in those habitats. For example, sand mining, brick making. As people go there, people start digging, making bricks from those habitats. They are actually disorganizing the wildlife, and the wildlife has to find another alternative place of living, which is very hard because that's where they can comfortably stay. But when mankind goes there and turns that habitat of this wildlife into another source of income on the expense of these animals and any other creatures that habitat from there, it's a big challenge. And as you have said, we need to let people know that wildlife is very important, is equally important. Otherwise, without wildlife, mankind, the human being can hardly live that life that is organic the way we want it. So we need to change the mindset of the people, the common people, who just only think about getting money without thinking about the impact of their activities to other naturally existing creatures. Because naturally, those are habitats for wildlife. As human beings, we build the houses. Wildlife constructs its house that side of the world, that side of the planet. So if on the planet Earth, we don't allow the wildlife to exist organically the way it should be, then we are bringing more problems to mankind. Because as they migrate from there, they are going to come and start finding ways to live with us. And some of them are not happy to live with human beings because it is the human being that is antagonizing their living. So when they come and find a human being, they are going to crush us. Yet they have been living in their homes peacefully without any other disturbance.
Right.
So
And that's part of the paradox. We hear many people talking right now about the United Nations and this idea of sustainable development. And it is kind of a paradox because how can we continue to develop and still maintain the balance of the natural world and the wildlife, and also not to use up or contaminate or destroy all of these natural, they call them resources. I don't like to say resource because it puts it in a capitalistic mindset. Like a resource is something you take and you turn into money, and how can we capitalize on that. But these natural resources, things like water and forests that do carbon sequestration, the wildlife that bring us the diversity, the music. I also want to say I'm a musician, so the music, the art, the culture, the diversity. That's what makes the planet so precious. I mean, we only have, there's no option B, right? We have
Yeah.
to figure out on this planet how to live more sustainably, self-sustainably, but also regenerative. Like you said, when we cut a tree for charcoal, we replaced a tree. We always have to be regenerating. And we have a few minutes left. I do want to say that having this meeting with you today, you know, this video will be shared. And part of us doing a campaign is that we have to maintain potentially a once a month opportunity to have a broadcast. And we do that through our platform, Regenerative Media TV. And the whole idea is this platform is not just videos like YouTube, it's videos with also connections to projects and consultants who are doing very specific work around bringing, like, again, solutions to various communities around the world. So in a campaign, what we do is we have a once a month communication with you and broadcast. That way we can let people know not only what's happening, but the progress that's being made, and also what your needs are. Most importantly, what your needs are. And what makes us different than a lot of organizations is that a lot of organizations here, I can only speak for the United States, they receive money, but what we call the lion's share goes to a lot of the administrative work, and we know that that's important. We need people like you, John, to be organized and do the things that need to be done to facilitate, to organize, and take roles of leadership. But in the United States, some of the nonprofits we've worked with in the past, you know, 90% of the money will go to administration. And then when you get to actually the solution, very little goes to help support that initiative. So I just want to commend you with the success you've had and that you're doing these things. It's not just ideas. And really, I already feel such a brotherhood with you. And I look forward to the potential of possibly coming to Uganda.
Yeah.
And I have to ask, I did some research. Do you have lions in Uganda?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
We
God.
have quite
Yeah.
a number of wild animals. Yeah. We have something of them.
Well, I will say, you know, part of the work we're doing, we always say, we're not here to chase cats.
Yeah.
We're here to bring the lions together that are the solutionaries to make the difference that we need to have a healthier planet, ecosystem, communities, to be able to be more vital and more unified. And like you said, divine intervention right now. We can't just count on someone else to always do the work, or maybe even a government to do the work. It's important that we partner with our communities, with individuals, with nonprofit organizations and government agencies. But we have to do this together. I think that's the message that so much of the uh, problems and challenges of the world are telling us. We have to learn how to, as a humanity, to work together more compassionately in the spirit of this divine intervention and divine collaboration. So this is our first introduction to you, sharing your work from the Rotary Club in Kinoni in Uganda. And what we'll do is we will organize a page on the website. We'll put the video up, and we will begin to, I think, once a month have a conversation and also look at how we can not just talk and tickle the ears, but how we can raise funds. So part of that is at your convenience. If you can send us documents about, you know, the things like budgets and where funding will go to. And the other thing is we have a very good way to set up these escrow accounts so that that can also be transparent. So as funding and resources come in, that money goes through the Rotary Club into various projects. So again, there's always a level of trust and that goes into these initiatives. But after due diligence and getting to know you and just feeling, brother, your dedication, you are a lion and you're a solutionary and you're doing amazing work for your community, and would be honored to see what support we could help bring to this project in Uganda.
Thank you so much. It's our pleasure. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to let the world know what is happening here, what we are doing, one step at a time, and divine intervention, oneness, when doing things is what is going to help us get solutions. And lives can change if our mind is prepared to change the situation we are living. So thank you so much, Michael, for this beautiful, amazing opportunity. Thank you for the love for nature, the love for humanity, and the love to see that the things get better. To different communities, different people, together we are winning. Thank you so much.
Well, as you know, if not us, who? If
Yeah.
not, if not now, when? We are the ones that we're waiting for, and now is the time to come together. So
Yeah.
I just want to let everyone know it's been amazing conversation. And I want to say also, John, that I mean, not only are you doing amazing work, but I have a sense of your deep commitment and spirituality. And I think that's really, again, in this divine intervention of how we have been brought together by a higher power with a higher mission to do something in service to humanity and the environment, and to our brothers and sisters in the animal kingdom, that we will find a way to work together. So thank you so much for your time. And we will talk soon.
Talk soon. Bye-bye. See you. Greetings to everyone.